Basically 1 cow per acre is all you could run on Bermuda grass without any fertility, and maybe not even that much, honestly. And so where you're trying to push your stocking rate and increase your productivity, we felt like we had to put fertilizer, particularly nitrogen, on the grass in order to get the benefit out of it. And without it, you just felt like you couldn't do anything. Fertilizer's a lot more expensive than it used to be, and we were just looking for something that fit a cow-calf operation, that you could get the production you needed out of the grass without having to break the bank putting a bunch of synthetic fertilizer on it. And Rhyzogreen seemed to be something that would fit that bill. We put it out after the first cutting of hay that we took, and it was hot and dry, and so we probably went into it thinking this isn't going to work.
We weren't very diligent in keeping up with exact parameters where we put it out or how we put it out. And we were kind of discouraged after the very first application we used it.
In fact, after we put it out on the first 2 fields, I got nervous and decided let's don't waste any of the product or our money putting anything else out, because as hot and dry as it is, we're not going to see the benefit from it. We did divide the field in half, but you couldn't really tell a physical difference between where you sprayed it and where you didn't. And then we came back in the fall and decided to cut it one more time, and we split the field in half, and we were over conservative to make sure we didn't get our cuttings blended across each other. But we still noticed that we picked up about a half a bale more than what we did on the side that we didn't apply it. And so it's like, well, hey, you know, this may be working. There may be something to this after all. And that's when we got together and decided to pull some forage samples and noticed that we'd seen an improvement in the crude protein, 1 to 2%, and our TDN had gone up about 2%. And we're like, okay, there's something to this, even though physically we couldn't see it. And so we had some product left over from last year or the year before, and we put it out last year in this field that we're standing in that we cut for hay, and then across the road where we did nothing but graze it. And we put it out in the spring. We did everything to the farms like we needed to as far as aerating the coastal and doing everything you should. And then we got some moisture in May after we put it out. And we got 1 cutting of hay off this field. And typically all of our Bermuda grass last year averaged 2 bales per acre, but this field made 2.5. And we have the 5x6 bales, so it's the bigger bales. And so we saw a 25% increase in our yields by using it last year. But what we noticed across the road where we were doing nothing but grazing, we had some heifers, 60 heifers on a 70-acre field of coastal. And we got rain in May. We didn't get any more rain until September 22nd. And we noticed that coastal in August still had green to it, where all of our other fields that weren't treated, they were already turning brown and had gone dormant. And in fact, our landlord had said, hey, you know, what are you doing over there? I'm surprised you're able to run that many cattle on that grass. And so that caught our attention over there, the fact that we could run that many cattle that long. We didn't pull them off until after Thanksgiving. And it stayed green, and there's still standing forage over there that we probably could have grazed another 2 weeks or maybe 3 weeks if we really pushed them.
I noticed it after our first application this past summer, when we saw a lot of green up when everything was kind of burning up, and especially after taking forage samples on hay from untreated versus treated, it kind of really opens your eyes on not necessarily physically what you see in the field, but also like a composition change in the soil and the grass that you're seeing as well.
There's a lot that we don't understand, that I don't understand about, you know, what happens in the soil. But when we put it out the first year and it was hot and dry, and visibly we couldn't see any change in the grass where we put it versus where we didn't. But then you get an extra half a bale acre out of it at the end of the season. It's like, wow, how did we do that? And so where you pick up an extra half a bale, you know, we were figuring at 120 bucks an acre, that's $125 a bale, an extra half a bale, we picked up 25%. And so if you take the value of that, that's about an extra 60 bucks an acre that we've been able to get out of the land. And if you've got Rhyzogreen, that's a $30 an acre application. Well, we've gotten the money back on our initial application costs and material costs, and then put that much more money in our pocket because of it.